Hello, everyone. Let's thank the foundation for lunch today. Let's stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mr. Fields.
Thank you, Jamie. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Yeah, thank you, Chuck. So it's Friday. Had a little snow day on Monday. That was nice. Ready to get back in the routine though. Everybody have a good holiday? Yeah, lots of shaking hands. We have a pretty full agenda today. I have several things to share with you at the beginning, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about something very important toward the end. So we had a board meeting last evening, and it was a very productive board meeting. Some months it's just routine stuff, and some months we actually have some real business to discuss. We do report to a board of directors who has a lot to say about our operations. And I'm looking around the room. Does anybody see Dr. Greenwood this morning? Okay, so board meeting last evening, a lot of routine stuff. Most of the stuff I want to visit with you about is what we discussed in executive session that had to do with some staffing. And I think Tiffany's also going to share some staffing information with you here in just a little bit. But I want to start off with recognizing someone. I don't think that this has got out real far, but I think it's appropriate today that we visit about an individual. Where's Dee at? Hi, Dee. Come up here, Dee. You know that old trick, don't you? Dee, how long have you been with us?
18 years,
19 years. So you came when I was 10. Dee is going to retire at the end of this school year. So let's give her a hand.
Wow.
We talked this morning last year at this time, or maybe, I'm not sure when, but we talked about Ruth Powell and Anita Reisner and Barbara Heron and others who are young women in their early 60s being able to retire. And it's because of this place right here and the income and saving. And I think that had a lot to do with yours. You've been very blessed, though, too. Dee's not even 60 years old and she's retiring. She's worked with us in our business and industry services, and then we asked her to take on our networking program. She told me this morning, she's like, Mr. Wilson, I don't lie, it's a whole heck of a lot more work than what I thought. I was about to cuss there, but we all know Dee wouldn't cuss. No, you've been such an asset. We love you, and we're going to miss you, and we just hope we can make this next few months just memorable for you, and we'll do our best to help you. And I've already talked to her about coming back and helping us with our short term. So she said, let me think about that for me. She said, you can't work for a year, can you? I said, no, it's 3 months, but all right. Dee, we're going to miss you. Thank you, dear. That's just pretty cool. We visited in executive session a little bit about org chart. That's one of the reasons we can go into executive sessions, new positions, buying land, some other things, talk about org chart. I want to visit with the board about many of the things that I visit with all of you about, the direction we're going primarily with community education and how we're separating out our high school and adult programs. And I'm not going to repeat myself too much today, but just to tell you that we have those conversations with the board because it involves personnel. One of the things I wanted to visit with them about last evening is something I visited with many of you already about. I think especially the faculty. We asked the board to approve a new position last evening. And this position will allow us to take the first step toward aligning our programs for adult, high school, community education. And the board approved a new position last night, and we're calling it, as I've said before, Director of Tri-County University. Tri-County University is our own internal training mechanism that we will use as we gear up community education. See, it's my belief we can quadruple our community education. Not my belief, I know we can do it, but in order to do so, we need to make sure the teachers that are coming into community education are properly trained. that they know the Tri-County way, they know what our values are, they know what we stand for, and they can truly represent us, not only in this organization, but outside of the organization, since they're touching the majority of the students we serve. Does that all make sense to everybody? So we're going to move pretty aggressively. I'd like to have somebody at least identified by spring break with the notion that we can begin to gear up classes, and it's my thought that this person will generate not only on-the-ground classes, but online classes that we can use for community education. A Tri-County 101, if you will. Who are we, what we do, and how we do it. Who are our board members, when were we founded, so on and so forth. And then get into some basic andragogy classes, teaching 101. And then I can kind of visualize a course catalog that's using PowerPoint in the classroom, how to engage students, how to create lesson plans. Is everybody following me? And then, kind of a dream that I would have that we haven't discussed with anybody, and when the word gets out, I'm sure there'll be concerns with the state agency, who, by the way, has no say in any of this, but it would be my hopes that this person might be able to help us teach the college courses that full-time instructors need to become certified. Those of you that have gone the provisional route, and I did that too, it's sometimes challenging to get those basic 17 courses that you need. So anyway, we haven't talked with anybody about that. So the person we're going to be looking for needs to have those credentials, either have their PhD or be working toward the PhD, so they can offer those courses and those be recognized at the collegiate level. So what we're looking at, and then I would suspect this person would hire multiple adjunct people to teach our adjunct. You with me? So the board's on board. That's our first step, because we don't want any of our new adjunct or community ed instructors to start a single class without being truly trained. Just like any good organization would allow a salesperson on their floor, or a customer service representative, or even Quick Trip. I think they would allow somebody to work at Quick Trip without being properly trained. But we're not going to either. So this is one of those days we've really dreamed of. It's icing on the cake, and I'm very, very excited about it. Questions about that? Pretty cool, huh? I think I'll stop there. Tiffany, you got the rest of it? Give Tiffany a hand.
Okay, so last night during board and personnel, the board approved to move Tammy Flynn, where's Tammy? There's Tammy, from the business office administrative assistant to our new activity fund custodian / assistant treasurer. So let's look for They also approved a little bit of a raise for Richard Gerard for achieving his bachelor's degree. And then once again, they approved the stipends for our national board certified teachers. I think we have 8 now. 7. So, yay! And that was the personnel and board. I would like to introduce to you our new payroll benefits specialist, Donna Watson. You'll see Donna. Her and LaVon are bunking together right now, and she's learning all the ropes. And previously, she was at Minnie Keith in Oklahoma City, and she is from this area, from the Dewey, Bartlesville area. So kind of moving back home, and we're so happy Donna's here. And LaVon is grinning from ear to ear. This is her last superintendent's forum, so she's pretty excited about that. We will have a retirement reception for LaVon on January 30th at noon in the Osage room, and that'll come out in Friday announcements, so you don't have to ink it on your hand or anything. But LaVon's last day will be January 31st. So the day before her last day. And then also, if you have read your Friday announcements, we have a recruitment stipend, a recruitment incentive for our business training coordinator, which was Mark Kottner's position. It's $250. So if you know somebody that is qualified for that position, it is posted on our website, and that person applies, they put you on their application, and then they are hired, you will get a $250 check. So it might be worth it to start beating the bushes to find someone. Larry will forever be. Okay, our January anniversaries. We have Tammy Garcia with us for 22 years. LaVon with us for 16 years. Michelle Rigdon, 15 years. Kathy Zoller, 13 years. Brenda Walker, also 13 years. Brian Chaya, 6 years. Juan's been with us 5 years. And, 6? That's not what that says. And Janet Backworth, 2 years. Okay, and just a little update on our core financial wellness. It's really, I think Jolene's done a great job of presenting to everyone. If you haven't seen her presentation, let us know because you will enjoy it. I think she's not even crying at this point, so it's good. It's all good. Our first class will be Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 11:15 in the Osage room. If you can't do a lunch class, she is going to do one at 3:30 on Thursdays in the Child Development Center. I think we have 33 enrolled. Oh, it's over 40 now. We have over 40 of our staff enrolled in it now. So $25, pay Tammy Glenn, or talk to LaVon and Donna, and they'll set you up on payroll, deduction, payroll, whatever. And anything else, Jolene, on that? Okay. So I will, with that, turn it over to Tammy.
It's such a great time to be at Tri-County and be a trailblazer. I don't know, on my drives I think about those things, and just what a blessing it is to get to be here with all of you and to serve our community and make a difference. So anyway, thank you guys for everything that you do. I have 3 white bisons today. One is Michelle Ratcliffe, and Michelle is not here. Most of you know Michelle's out on leave, so she will have her candy bar in my office, or in Larry's pocket, or in Jeanette's, and when she returns. Good luck, Michelle, on her candy bar. Also, Brenda Walker. Where's Brenda? Working. Nobody's supposed to be working. It's Friday today. Well, I guess I'll have to take that one too. I know Dee's here. Dee Moore. Keep submitting white bisons when you see each other demonstrating our values, and you too can give someone a candy bar right in front. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. It is good to be back. Glad to see everyone back. I'll tell you a little bit about what's been going on at our place. I think at the last forum I did tell you that we had gotten our incubator certified over at the hospital. Again, that allows those people in there to have a 5-year exemption from sales tax, Oklahoma sales tax. So if you know someone that's interested in starting their own business, have them give us a call. We have a lot of opportunities. We've got 2 or 3 that are graduating from ours here. One of them is Bit Brilliant. They do our website for Tri-County. Been working on that for some time. They started out with 1 full-time employee. They now have 3 full-time, 5 part-time, and they found a place downtown in Bartlesville. And so that's exactly what we're designed to do. Give them a chance to get on their feet, get started, and then grow. So that's been a real success for us. So we're going to lose a couple of those, but so we have some spaces. If you know anybody that wants to start a new business, have them come see us. Right at the end of the year, while we were on break, Tanya, Tara, Cindy, Jane Ann, we got notification that the Osage Nation had again signed a pretty substantial contract with us for the coming year. So that's really important to us as we try to reach our revenue goals. So we're pretty excited about that, and I want to thank them personally and from everybody for the work that they did to get that done. There's a lot of turmoil in the Osage tribe right now with the chief. So there was a lot of kind of timing issues, but they persevered and we got it done. Yesterday, we had ABB over in our place. They had their senior leadership doing a strategic planning. And so we hosted them. We didn't really run it for them. We just hosted them, let them use our facility, and made all the arrangements for them, and they really appreciate it. The new AMET class started. The second class started Tuesday night. They've got 17 in it. Mark is going to continue teaching the first class all the way through, and he's going to teach one or two of the modules for the second group. So even though he'll be working at Central Tech, he's still going to live here, so he'll just be coming home a little bit earlier and taking care of those classes. So we really appreciate that. It'll give us a lot of continuity to that program. ABB has 6 or 7 of their workers in that class, so they're very appreciative of what's going on here. But that's about all we've got from the Strategy Center. But again, thank you for your support of us, and we look to you to be ambassadors for us. Spread the word about what we can do as far as customized training or starting a new business. Thank you.
Thanks, Larry. Okay, I have a financial update, but just a couple little side notes real quick. Bear with fiscal plan. If it's going to break, it will break this month or this week. If it can break, it has broken. So that's why it's been a little colder than normal. Got a little water in the floor in the Osage Annex because the lovely freezing temperatures like to mess with our roofs. So bear with those guys as they're scrambling to they're trying to duct tape everything back together so that we can all be warm and dry. Okay, so here's where we were at as of yesterday, and when I first initially looked at this, I was like, ooh. But remember, we met on December 20th was our last forum. Nobody worked over Christmas break, so we didn't collect any revenue for those 2 weeks. And then we came back the second and third. We have no students, and culinary is not open. We don't have any live work going on. Then we had a snow day on Monday. So this is 3 days worth of revenue. So with that said, yeah, we actually did pretty good. With that said, we have remaining $1,256,000 is what's left for us to collect. If you notice revenue collected as of today, we jumped quite a bit. We had been negative like $4 million and something. Because I went down this week and picked up our first tax check for January, and it was $3,226,000. And then we got Osage and Novot in the mail right after that followed up, and they were $500 and $300. So we collected almost $4 million in taxes just for January. So that dropped that. We're actually now down to only $1 million negative if we still spend everything. So that's good. So for us though, we still have $1,256,000. So there's our bar chart. See, it barely went down because we only had 3 days of revenue. And then this last graph is going to really look bad. But it's really not. It says we only collected $51,000 from month to month, but for 3 days, I think that's pretty good. You guys keep collecting $51,000 every 3 days and we're going to be good. That's all I got. Oh, P cards did come in the mail. I have everyone's P card with me, and so we will have the training on January 20th when we have Martin Luther King. That day at 1:30, you will want to be there because then you'll get your P card and you can start spending, and we'll give you all the rules and regulations, and I'll have the kind of excited but kind of nervous at the same time.
Well, hello. If I go into a coughing fit, and you'll just have to pardon me for just a second, but I think I can do this. First, I have a story. I went to Texas over the Christmas, actually it was New Year's, the weekend after New Year's. And for some of you old-timers like myself that have been here forever, I go in to the Cotton Bowl, and there's 80,000 people there, right? And I'm on level 2 is where I need to be going to sit. Had never been there. It was a pretty good experience all the way around. So I'm kind of wandering around a little bit, got Nate and the boys parked, and they're sitting over there. And I turn around, and who on earth is right there but Bobby Keddington. So there she is. She's now Bobby Houston, right? But, so I turn around and she's like, hey, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. The same door, there's all these choices, the same floor and everything. And then it got a little bit weird because I said, hey, where are you sitting? She's like, over here, 242. And I was like, hey, that's where I'm sitting. And I was like, well, what row are you on? She's like, 12. And I'm like, I'm on 13. Okay, you know. And I'm like, well, what's it? 19. I kid you not. Her ticket in her hand was the same exact ticket as mine, except that she was on 12 and 19, and I was on 13 and 19. Now, is that crazy or what? I was like, wow. So then, of course, we drove everybody crazy because she was like, well, how's so-and-so? And who's with, you know, this stuff. She went, and Luke's like, Mom, shut up. You know, like, yeah, Luke, trade me seats, you know. I mean, it's like being at the movies and you can't talk, you know. So it was just like, oh, but anyway, it was so fun. She said to tell everybody hello, of course, and she looks great. I said, what are you doing? She said, sleeping in, hanging out, whatever. Like, you scum. So, but she's doing really good. So there's your oh my gosh moment for today. So let's talk about this wonderful foundation. Whenever we came to the end of December, we wrapped up a year for foundation. And reminder that it doesn't work on the same year that our school year works on. It works on calendar year. So we wrap up and get our information, our data gathered together at actually the end of the year. So for 2014, we're going to kick off at this point. This is a 2013 summary. Look at that. Pulling together some data of what we did over the last year. First of all, I just can't tell you all enough how much I thank you for being able to support the foundation, because it really does make a difference for a lot of people. And sometimes we get busy in our day-to-day lives and we don't realize that there's people who really need our help. And at the end of the day, the things that I'm going to be most proud of as I go away from being an educator for all these years is really the difference I can make, the little differences I can make in people, knowing that I did my best whenever they were in my classroom. I did my best to help them, even if I'm not a teacher in front of them in the classroom, knowing that all of us are working together to try to do what we can to help people be more successful. So as I pulled together the information, we had 14 different emergency grants that were issued. And you think, well, that's not a whole lot. But what I'm going to tell you is that those were issued because if you remember what emergency grants are for, that's when people are at their last options. We issue those in order to keep people in school. So had we not issued those, chances are that would have been 14 people that were no longer students in our programs. So those are important to us. We had 63 charter members for our superintendent circle. And if you can remember, the superintendent circle meant that we had $500 in giving to be a member of that. And I feel really proud of the fact that we had so many people that were able to be a part of that charter year for superintendent circle. So thank you all again. Many of the people in this room are. 48 full-time students were assisted with school supplies. And we don't think about that so much because, you know, when my kids need school supplies, I just go get them. I brag about them being expensive, but I go get them, right? And not everybody has the ability to do that. So Linda refers to it as our backpack program. And you know, we have backpack programs here in town for elementary kids in school that works for the public schools. Well, our supplies are a little bit different sometimes, depending on what program the students are going into. And so it's not so easy to just say, hey, you know, so-and-so, let's add a backpack for a cosmetology student. Let's add a backpack for a health science student, these type of things. So we take care of our people inside through this piece right here. So 48 students were helped with that. That's a pretty substantial number. The next one is one that you all need to be so proud of yourselves for. And we pulled the numbers together, and it's over $35,000 in employee giving this year for Tri-County Foundation. So give yourselves a hand. When I have the opportunity to talk to people about the foundation, they're blown away by that. You know, we're about 100 people strong. So that's a pretty good percentage and pretty good ratio of how much is given here internally to help our students. And I think that that's a very good indicator that we put our money where our mouth is on that. You know, we're having people that are teaching ourselves, one another, about financial literacy, and that's something that we have to learn to be fiscally responsible. And we're supported through taxpayers' money, so it always has to be there in our minds. But yet we still know that maybe a little bit can be given here and there, and a little bit does add up to a lot. So I want to thank you for that. The last one on here is the tuition assistance. We think, well, we're giving a scholarship here and there and so forth. And when I pulled the numbers together, I was really impressed because we gave over 70 scholarships for tuition assistance. So that was with full-time scholarships, short-term scholarships, and that's everything combined on it. But we were able to hand out over 70 scholarships for tuition assistance. So give yourselves a hand. So all that being said, we really feel as though we've had a fabulous year as far as the foundation is concerned. We have materials that we will update as we go into the next year. Being able to tell people about the things we do, getting the word out. Gail worked really hard to help with our first ever big mail out, and we're starting to see some envelopes come back in for that. People are beginning to understand really what we're up to as far as being able to help keep people in school. I want you to feel proud of the fact that you're able to help with the foundation. And when you see students, you know, everybody doesn't need to know every student's name that gets to be assisted by that. That's not the idea of it. But I want you to realize that there's a whole lot of them walking around here that have been helped by what you donated. So I, once again, thank you for that very much. And I'm going to now hand it over to Mr. Fields for a few minutes. Give me a hand.
Thank you, Tara. That's pretty impressive stuff, isn't it? I'm not sure what I can say to follow up on that too much, but I think you all know I'm going to say something, right? Kind of feel like Monsignor at church right now. When he starts talking about the second collection, nobody makes eye contact. So I understand if you don't want to make eye contact right now. Tara, something I haven't thought about until just now. 70 scholarship represents 33% of our adult students. I think that's probably unprecedented. That is just amazing. And to think that we started this journey just a few years ago in growing our foundation, which we all know would transpire into something much larger that's right in front of us in the upcoming months. I had the opportunity to visit with the board president at Moore Norman, their foundation president, their superintendent, CEO, and some of their executives just this past Wednesday. They asked me to come and talk with them about our foundation and the success we've enjoyed. And I'm humbled by that, but at the same time, I feel like we've just begun to scratch the surface. So to share our stories is a little bit premature, but the word's getting out not only about our foundation, but our move away from federal funding. And it all ties together, as you all know. But not everybody understands quite what we're up to and how that's going to work. And listening to them, I found myself so excited about their potential and how we could help them. But then I thought, oh, I need to shut up. I'm talking too much. Because it was a little overwhelming to them, much like it probably was to you a few years ago. They have $200,000 in assets. They have twice as many students or employees as us. And they did an all-call to their staff about 5 years ago, and they raised $600. The first time I asked you to participate, we raised $27,000 from the people in this room. So when I told them that, they're like, the superintendent said, "You're blanking me, right?" I'm really not. They gave $3,300 scholarships last year. But they're going the right direction. And of course, they want to have a bake sale in the golf tournament and do those things to raise money, but we all know that's not how you do it. It's a very patient endeavor, and we've been very patient. But the time has come for us to really get serious about it, because this July we're going to be completely away from federal funding. And we started that 2.5 years ago with a 5-year plan. And is there anyone brave enough to raise their hand and say they never thought we would do it? Kim? We started, it was $1 million a year to our organization. So what I know about our organization, what I know about our individual financial responsibilities, it's not about what you make, it's about what you spend. Money's not for spending, it's for saving. It's about living in your means, because our means will be a whole lot less than it was even a few years ago. Now, we've had some growth in our platform and whatnot, but by and large, we're doing away with the fat in our organization, and that's federal programs that have bound our hands. And I didn't mean to get so much into federal programs, but I want to kind of give you an idea of really what it's going to look like. If you look at our board reports, the federal programs that have been on that report, there's zeros next to them. And then you get down to just a couple of federal programs left. So what that really means for our organization is the financial assistance that we can provide for our students will go away. And that's significant. We're trying to figure out how on earth are we going to replace that. In Corinza, we have a plan, don't we? But we have to have some money in the bank, and we can do that with our foundation. You know, the board approved with Tri-County dollars to hire a development director to raise money for the foundation. And that'll happen soon enough, but until then, we have some work to do. So, I'm excited about where we're going. I'm scared. I'm a little bit scared. And when we pull that plug, come June 30th, it'll be a good day. It'll be a very good day. But we have a ways to go. I rolled that Vision 2020 to you a few years ago. You remember me standing outside of the Osage room, handing those pamphlets out, Vision 2020, and outlining those 4 major goals, and saying that any one of these accomplished in any school's lifetime would be a major achievement. Many of you were there that day. And we're living Vision 2020. In fact, just about every goal on there we've hit one time. I mean, all but maybe one. Getting our assets in the foundation to $500,000 this year is on that sheet, and we'll hit that number. But not only have we doubled the amount of money in our foundation in the last 3.5 years, we've doubled the number of scholarships. And the budget this year triples the number of scholarships. So you're making a huge, huge difference. So I want to back up to Vision 2020 and tell you a little bit about that story and where that came from as a reminder. Vision 2020 was my dream for Tri-County and where I thought we could take this place. And we knew that we were having good years stacked on good years, year after year, but really where were we going? We just didn't have an answer to that. I think we all know where we're going. If you're not shaking your head, I'm going to help you pretty soon, because we know where we're going. We know who we want to be when we grow up. And if organizations can say that, they're so much further ahead. At that time, I committed to you my personal desire to be at Tri-County. This is my 24th year at Career Tech, 24th year. And I plan on being here for about 8 more years. And that's when Vision 2020 starts. And at that point, I'm going to go and do something different. But until then, I'm going to work really hard to ensure Vision 2020 happens. So, why is Career Tech so important to me? I'm going to tell you about Lindell today. Some of you have heard the story. Brenda, Johnny, Tammy, a couple others. They know my story. They know where I came from. But I'm going to share it with you today. So Shane, turn off the camera.
All right, you get the story award for today. Dadgummit.
Did Bobby ask me?
I was feeling so good about the Bobby story until that. You always gotta one-up me. All right, thank you so much. And your passion comes through loud and clear on that. And I think that you're among a lot of friends with the same passion. So that's a fabulous thing. To figure out, to make things easy or difficult for Donna, the new lady on the block. Hi, Donna, we love you. Okay. We have put cards in everybody's spot at the table, and we discussed this back and forth, and I would like you to fill out a new card, okay, That way, as Levon is teaching the process to Donna, she can actually have something hard to refer to on these cards. And so many of us do a monthly, a payroll deduction for this, and that is much appreciated. The Superintendent Circle Foundation is $500 to be a member of that. That breaks down to $84 a month, $42 a paycheck, if you're wondering what those numbers are. Mr. Fields' challenge that he just issued of $333 comes down to $14 a pay period. So if you're interested, yes? $42 a month. Well, I just want a little extra, Gail. $42 a month, $21 a pay period. Thank you very much for the clarification. So $21 a pay period for Superintendent's Circle. And we were happy to help you with any questions you have over the cards that are here on the back. If you are a person that is able to submit for ConocoPhillips or Phillips 66 for matching funds, that has been a good source of income for us in the foundation, and I would encourage you, if you have questions and need help on that, Gail's gotten really good with it as well. We have our several different ways to give. The one that seems to be the most easiest for people is through the payroll deduction. So if you don't see it, you don't miss it kind of thing. It's kind of the way I work on that. And then at the end of the year, I get all these little, here's what you've given. And I'm like, oh, I did pretty good, So I encourage you to consider it. Once again, as Mr. Fields said, we're not going to ask anybody to do something they're not able to do. I will tell you that we hit 89% of our employees currently giving, and we had a time where we were at 94%. So we've had some transitions of people, new people that have come in that really we haven't had a good talk about the foundation, to be honest. So we are available if you have questions. We're happy to answer those for you. And the cards are here. They don't have to be turned in today. They can just be given to Levon or Donna as we go through the next few days. I believe, Levon, help me, will that take effect January 31st? Okay, so January 31st, if you're going to make changes on that so you can keep track of that in your home budget. Okay, I would like for you to get them in within the next week or so that Levon and Donna aren't scrambling towards the end to be able to get all that information in, please. Okay, if that's possible. This little piece that's here on your table, a lot of people used them as a coaster, which was really funny, and Gail said, we should do coasters, and I said, maybe so, but this is actually a clear decal for your car windows, just so we can start building some recognition of the logo for Tri-County Technology Center Foundation, so those are yours to take with you if you want. If not, just leave them, we'll gather them back up. But I just want to tell you all once again that I really, really appreciate the participation that we have. Deanne, would you hit the next slide for me real quick? We do have the date selected for our Superintendent Circle event, so you can mark your calendars if you're a part of that. It will be April the 5th, and that is on a Saturday evening. And more details to come on that, but I just wanted to give you a heads up as we go into the spring here. So, any questions? All right, thank you guys once again for what you do. I appreciate it.
Do we have any other announcements? Okay. Well, everyone have a great weekend.